when it comes to Lego Horizon Adventures, we have to understand a few things.
Oh
Number
no, what
one,
you ponies have to understand that the concept of exclusives is over. Do you hear all these ponies capping for the fact that this game is coming to Xbox, bro? This is a Sony published game. What do you people don't understand? That means that Sony allowed this game to happen. But you know what? Unfortunately, you guys are on that Pony Express when you gotta go and get it off your chest. Like, come on, man. Really? Is this what y'all doing? Seriously? I mean, you guys don't want to admit that PlayStation don't care about exclusives either. That's all that's going on here, man.
Sony is the publisher, so it is branded as PlayStation Studios.
Oh, here we
Number
go.
two, it is not developed by a Sony-owned
It
studio.
doesn't matter. The fact that Sony, you do understand that a company that publishes a game actually has more right to the game than the developers do, which also means that Sony allowed this to happen.
It is developed by...
How hard is it for you people to understand? If Sony published the game, that means that they allow the game to go through and to be available on the Xbox platform. And what's even more funny, it hasn't even been a full year yet, and we got Sony dropping games on Xbox already.
Studio Gobo,
GameStop with another W.
in partnership with PlayStation and Guerrilla Games. Number three, Lego is not owned by Sony. Lego is a licensed...
Oh, here we go. They're doing the same thing like they did with MLB. Then explain as to why MLB was on PlayStation 2 and 3 for a very long time. See, I think what you people don't understand is the fact that these companies are not making money anymore. There was a time where it was perfectly fine to make one of your beloved exclusives only available on your platform. But we're in a new era of gaming where people just don't want to buy video games anymore. So the only way you can kind of rectify that problem is by putting your games on another platform. How hard is it for you people to understand that, considering that the budgets of these games are much higher than what they were back in the days? It's pretty easy to understand as to why this is happening.
Product, essentially. There are licensing agreements in place here. Now, when we look at Sony's overall strategy, because let's just get down to the meat and potatoes of this conversation, when people hear about Lego Horizon Forbidden West potentially coming to Xbox, they want to know, is this a sign of things to come? Can we expect more PlayStation games?
Yeah, because if this was Xbox, y'all be out here saying Xbox is dead. I guess PlayStation is dead too, guys. The whole concept of, oh, Sony ain't going full third party. You see? We try to tell you that Sony is planning on dropping games on other platforms, but unfortunately you people weren't hearing. Y'all acting like the developers have more rights than the publishers. The only thing the developers are doing is developing the game. Okay? But the fact that you said that Sony published it, which means that Sony had every right to say, no, we're not putting this on Xbox. But they chose to say, you know what? We don't care about our ponies. We don't care about the fanboys in our community, because it's all about making what, guys? That money. And with how bad that game flopped, I mean, it only makes sense that they would want to drop the game on Xbox. Now I'm going to recommend, guys, listen, you don't have to buy the game or whatever have you. But like I said, if you're on Xbox and you buy this game, expect more PlayStation games to come. You know what I'm saying? Y'all like, well, you know what, man? I mean, I'm not gonna buy the game, but I'm just saying, if you want more, if you want this whole console war stuff to immediately end, buy Lego Horizons on Xbox. Show these dudes that, oh, we do buy games, and I can guarantee you Sony will drop more games on the Xbox platform. We have already single-handedly resolved the problem of exclusivity. There you go. It's over. I mean, it's bound to happen, but it will happen at a faster rate if you guys go out there and buy Lego Horizons, man. You know, Xbox dudes, we got money. You know, we'll probably pay the $60 just so we can see more PlayStation games drop on our platform, so we can continue to laugh at you guys on the sole purpose of gaming is exclusive. No, it's not, bro. We've been trying to tell you this for the longest time, and you people still holding on to this concept. Because you're on that Pony Express.
This were to happen,
gotta go and get it off your chest.
I'm going to say probably not. And the reason for that is because when we look at Sony's strategy and we look at it in depth...
And what strategy is that, bro? We don't have a roadmap when it comes to games. We don't know what Sony's even doing, bro. What is you talking about, bro? Sony don't even have a strategy. I mean, at this point, Sony don't even know what they're doing.
So that the only games that are available on Xbox right now are due to, I would say, unique circumstances that are likely outside of Sony's control. MLB The Show. MLB The Show is, again, another licensed game. It was exclusive to PlayStation for many years, but one day the MLB approached Sony and they said, listen,
Well, also, you're talking about the shareholders. I mean, that can happen to every single PlayStation game. You know, the same people that said that, oh, Xbox is only trying to cater to their shareholders. What do you think Sony's doing? What do you think they're doing? They're doing the same exact thing. They're probably telling you, like, hey, Sony, this is not a profitable strategy anymore. You're going to have to put these games on Xbox. It is what it is. And Sony said, you know what? Yeah, our games are not successful. Matter of fact, MLB does better on Xbox, and it even drops on Game Pass day one. But y'all want to sit there and say, Sony, it's top priority. Sony care about it. Sony don't care about any of y'all, bro. The only thing these companies care about is making money off their fans, and that's exactly what we're seeing here.
we want this game to be everywhere. We want it to be on every platform.
I don't ever want to hear a pony speak again.
To be on Game Pass. And if you are not willing to do that, we will find another developer and another publisher that is willing to do that. So obviously, Sony's hands are tied at that point, and they're going to make the obvious decision, which is the smarter decision, which is, okay, we will put this sports game on every platform and every service. So that's one game.
And that's because the game is not profitable, right? On the one platform that it was already on. That's the reason why companies are going multi-platform. This is what we tried to tell you. You don't see Nintendo doing it. Why you don't see Nintendo doing it, guys? Ding, 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 ding. Good answer, Carl. Because people are buying their games on the Nintendo Switch. That's why you don't see it. Microsoft knows that you guys don't buy games. You're too busy playing Call of Duty and Fortnite. They're fully aware of this. And what's even more funny about these free-to-plays, you don't even have to pay online to even play these games in the first place, which means that these Microsoft and Sony aren't really getting any money besides maybe a few DLC royalties in the game and whatever have you. That's about it. But when it comes down to that subscription service, they have to find these things to be more appealing to the casual gamer to make them want to subscribe to it.
Available from PlayStation Studios that is available on Xbox. The second game that is coming up is going to be Marathon. Marathon is Bungie's next title, and from what we have gathered, it seems as though Marathon was always going to be multi-platform, and that was basically a demand, like a requirement.
But yet, for some reason, why you guys keep saying that the PS5 has exclusives if you keep talking about multi-platform?
I should say, from Bungie, where, listen, if we are going to agree to be purchased by you and folded in to PlayStation or Sony as a subsidiary, we want autonomy. We want to put our games anywhere we decide. And Sony, in order to get that deal to go through...
Well, that's funny because people can say the same thing about what Microsoft did with Bethesda and Activision, and you guys were sitting there saying that Microsoft was stupid. You see, this is why people don't care for ponies in this community, because it has more to do with the hypocrisy. It's so funny that when Sony does it, it's fine, but when Xbox does it, they're dead. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I think PC gamers are like, yep, that's the reason why I'm not coming back to console. I mean, the only thing you guys have, the only redeeming quality of a console now is GTA 6. I mean, do you understand how embarrassing that is, that both of these platforms are being saved by yet again another third-party game?
We will let you do that. But ever since that, Bungie has pretty much fallen apart. Two of them, unless there's something I'm missing. If there is, please let me know. But we have MLB The Show, we're going to have Marathon, and then potentially we're going to have Lego Horizon. So when we evaluate these games, again, there is a very specific set of circumstances that seemingly...
Oh, really? The same circumstances that Microsoft told you on a case-by-case basis of which games are going to PlayStation, but yet you guys ran with the narrative that Xbox is dead. So I'm going to go as far to tell you that PlayStation's dead, and there's no reason to pick up a PlayStation 5, especially if Sony's planning on dropping Lego Horizons pretty quickly. I mean, at this point, Sony is starting to realize the writing on the wall that their community doesn't pick up their platform for their very own games. And if Xbox dudes really want to put some salt in the wound, if they go out there and buy that game more than you, then that means that Sony will put more games on Xbox. That is exactly what's going to happen. You feel me? I think I know a bunch of Xbox dudes that would just buy the game just to see it happen. I'm telling you, man, you guys don't want to admit that the gaming industry is changing before your very own eyes. You guys are still stuck in the 90s. How many times do I have to keep continuously saying this? Gaming is different. Like, how do you guys expect things not to change from over 30 years ago? We went from cartridges to CDs, and you people out here still acting like this, bro.
Have allowed these games to make their way to the Xbox platform. Now, when we look at all of Sony's other games, we could say, yeah, you know what? That is. I knew there was something I was forgetting. Death Stranding, correct. Death Stranding is also on Xbox. Again, another set of unique circumstances where apparently Kojima Productions now owns the Death Stranding IP.
No, he doesn't. Y'all capping. Yes, he does. I'm gonna explain as to what you guys are like. Yes, he does. I know he does. But Sony owned a portion of that game. That's the reason why Death Stranding 2 is going to drop on the PS5 first before it even drops on probably PC or Xbox. There's a reason for that. Because Sony has a joint venture with Kojima for those particular games. No different than what I was explaining to you about Nintendo in Fatal Frame with Made in Blackwater and Lunar Eclipse, which all happen to be on what, guys? Different platforms, right? Remember I was explaining that? No different than this situation. But yes, Sony did own a portion. Now Kojima owns, because you guys got to ask yourself, if Kojima owned Death Stranding 2 like you guys claim he does, then why isn't the game dropping on PC, Xbox? Why would he single-handedly make his game exclusive for the PS5 when he could drop it on Series X, S, PS5, what he's doing, and PC all at the same time? Why would he get less money by just putting it on one platform? Because obviously there's a reason behind it. And they're not going to sit there and tell you. These companies aren't going to sit there and tell you every little business deal that you're doing, but you have to read between the lines. Y'all don't want to see that, bro. Like, you guys are still holding on to this concept of exclusivity, and it's maddening to think that you guys really believe what you're saying.
In full, and there was clearly like a 5-year deal in place to where Kojima could not put Death Stranding on Xbox for 5 years.
Exactly. And who you think put that deal in place?
As soon as that 5-year deal was up, boom, it's on Xbox. So we have 4 titles, 3 officially, 1 rumored. So what we have to do now in order, I think, to come to the most rational, logical conclusion is look at all of Sony's... Let's take a look at Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 is a game that at certain points throughout the year was rumored to be making its way to Xbox. Some fans on Xbox were even hoping it would come and kind of pushing for it. Even Phil Spencer at one point was kind of pushing for it.
And there's a reason for that, because more than likely it might come. You don't think these companies all know what's going on, man. And what's even more funny, these companies are taking you like Marvel vs. Capcom. They're taking you guys for a ride. You know what I mean? They're taking advantage of your loyalty to these consoles, and this is why PC gamers laugh at you, because you know why? Because they see it for themselves. And you console gamers just don't want to admit and say, you know what? I got a PS5 and a Series X, and I just like to play games. You can't hurt somebody when you just say, I own a PS5 and I just like to play games. Or I own a Series X just because I like to play games. The only people you could hurt in this situation is fanboys that really think that Sony and Microsoft care about them. Those are the only people that you can damage. Because if I sat there and told you, oh, well, you go to PC, you get a better experience. Well, I'm not even enjoying the Series X. So, I mean, if I'm playing Indiana Jones on my PC and you're telling me that I can play the game at 8K 120 and I don't even care for the game now, how is that going to enhance my experience? That's only going to enhance my experience if I'm already enjoying the games now, which happens to be on my little console. You get what I'm saying? Like, people act like if you go to PC, things are going to magically change. I'm still going to be playing the same games. Nothing has changed. You're just getting better performance and better resolutions. That's it.
But it hasn't happened. And as of right now, it seems like that is off the table. That is not going to happen.
Oh, here we go with this off the table. Oh, yeah, it's off the table, guys. You know, you guys didn't even think Lego Horizons was even gonna drop on Xbox. You didn't even think that. You didn't even think Sony was even planning on that just because it had the Horizon license. And now we're finding out that Sony doesn't care about your console war feelings.
You could make the argument,
That's
and
all
I think
y'all
this
do
is
is
a
cap.
fair argument, that a game like Helldivers 2 would actually probably do relatively well on the
Yes.
Xbox platform.
Yeah.
I think it would
That is
sell
true.
more than 1 million copies. I think Helldivers 2 at $40 on Xbox could sell maybe 2-3 million copies. I think it could make a decent amount of money and do pretty well.
I agree.
But even with that in mind,
Uh-oh.
Sony, as of right now, has shown zero interest in putting that game on the Xbox platform or on the Xbox.
You don't know that. Just because they come out and say that we're not doing it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not planning on doing it. They're looking to see if their audience is willing enough to buy their own games, which you guys are clearly not doing. And that's why Sony is testing the water with Lego Horizons. They're seeing if there's a market for Xbox dudes that are actually interested in PlayStation games. Now, I'm not advocating or telling anybody on Xbox to buy the game, but if you do, guys, I'm telling you, Sony will drop more games for you. And the console war will be fully over, and we all can just sit there and enjoy our platforms on no matter what we play on. It's crazy that you guys still think that these companies care about you, bro.
Xbox console.
I don't get it. It's
when
over.
we look at everything else beyond Helldivers, when we look at games then will make its way to PC and then eventually will make its way to Xbox, that seems to be the trajectory in which it's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It could change, obviously.
Just like what Microsoft's saying, our games go from console to PC to PlayStation and Nintendo. You just peeped it. You just peeped the game. Sony's doing the same thing. The reason why Sony don't do it for Xbox because they're already doing it for Xbox already through PC. And Sony still wants to have their console be, still out there. I mean, they do sell a little bit more than Xbox. So there's every reason for why Sony don't want to put it directly on the competitor already. But like you said, that is the method that's going on here. It's PS5, PC, and then Xbox. Xbox, PC, then Sony, Nintendo and Sony. That's how they're doing it. So at this point, you just submitted that you guys are literally fighting over timed exclusivity at this point. You guys are fighting for the concept of Halo coming on PlayStation, Uncharted coming to Xbox. This is all we're hearing, guys. And what's crazy, Sony will bend the knee because that is where the market is heading. Nobody cares about exclusivity no more.
Know that for a fact, but that seems likely as of right now.
Wow.
So when we look at this holistically, when we evaluate Horizon or Lego Horizon Adventures and the possibility of it coming to Xbox, I think there's a decent to good chance it's going to actually release on Xbox. And I think the reason for this will simply be because it's not doing well, and Lego, as well as Sony, want to try
Well, there's a lot of games on PlayStation ain't doing well, so you know what that means, guys. They're coming to Xbox.
Recoup the cost and get as many sales as they possibly can. There's no denying that this game absolutely flopped on PC.
Well, you know what also flopped? Until Dawn Remake, Rise of Ronin. Hey guys, Xbox dudes, we're getting Foam Stars, the games that nobody wants. Rise of Ronin. What else we're getting, guys? Until Dawn Remake, Final Fantasy 16, and we're possibly going to get Final Fantasy Remake, 7 Remake. I mean, yeah, things are looking pretty good. I mean, you guys was beta testing these games on PlayStation like we was telling you, and we're gonna have the superior version on Xbox. Now I'm just clowning, but it's just like, bro, we tried to tell you. We was trying to tell you guys, but y'all weren't trying to listen.
This was the lowest concurrent player count for a PlayStation Studios published video game.
And have you noticed that a lot of people ain't buying these games, bro? Concord flopped. You know what I mean? You don't hear about this with Xbox. Yeah, but they might play it through Game Pass, but you don't hear about it like this, though. You feel me? Like he just said, how low can you go? Like, you guys it was already low enough for Concord. You're trying to tell me that this game did worse than Concord and it dropped on PS5? Maybe they should have dropped it on PS4, PS5 PC, and Nintendo Switch? The Nintendo Switch has over 100 million consoles and the game still failed. Nobody cares for your games, man.
On Steam that we've ever seen.
And the fact that you guys on PlayStation care about our games means that our games are going to stay alive while your games plummet and die. That's why I always ask if you PlayStation dudes are real fans to your games, because apparently I don't care if these games drop on PlayStation as long as Halo and Gears of War stay alive. But unfortunately, the games that you guys have, nobody wants.
Lower than Concord. So that should give you some idea of how
it was lower than Concord. You hear this, man? You got Sony out here breaking Guinness World Records of the least selling games imaginable, bro. This is ridiculous. How do you sell, bro? It sold worse than Concord. Until Dawn Remake sold worse than. You're trying to tell me it sold worse than Until Dawn Remake? Come on, bruh. And y'all don't. Oh, Sony ain't dead though. Yeah,
this
right.
game is doing right now.
All these PlayStation fanboys that be talking on the internet, where you guys going out there buying these games, man? Y'all getting single-handedly exposed right now.
Sure, it's doing better on PlayStation, but the truth is, it's probably not doing that much better on PlayStation. It's still very likely struggling quite a bit, and at the end of the day, they want to, I would imagine, break even on this game, and so a last-ditch effort.
You hear that, ponies? If you don't buy your games, they're going to probably inevitably drop on Xbox. This is what happens when you don't buy your own exclusives and instead you want to go pick up Sea of Thieves, Impediment, and Grounded on PlayStation. I just told you. You guys have been bro, games still with another W. I've been telling you guys this. Didn't I tell you that Microsoft's going to drop games on your platform to take away the sales of your own games? Call of Duty, Diablo. What are you guys not understanding? These are your top games. Xbox games. Sea of Thieves did well on PlayStation. What do you guys don't understand? You guys are destroying your own franchises. Even on your own platform. Nintendo guys are laughing at you.
Not knowing it's also on Nintendo Switch. Maybe it is faring better on Nintendo Switch. It's hard to say. We have no data right now for that. In a last-ditch effort,
Nintendo gamers didn't even want it.
It's already $40 and on sale.
Wow.
I would not be the least bit surprised.
Nintendo gamers was like, I'm fine with my Mario brother shit.
Put this on Xbox. It may not do anything. It may not move the needle, and it may not save this game or get it to break even. But we got it.
Another game that flopped. Wow.
I also do want to say that I actually would have no problem, personally, if this
now he has no problem, guys, with a Sony game coming to Xbox. But yet, for some reason, the Xbox people have to get mad every time we see a game drop on PlayStation. You know, we get stuff like Xbox is dead. There's no reason for an Xbox. But when it's PlayStation, yeah, it's fine. You know, now I'm fine with the because you guys see the writing on the wall. You guys are just capping. You guys are just hoping Sony doesn't go the direction of Microsoft. And I'm telling you right now, they are. So get well prepared, buddy.
But Sony
Let's go.
wanted to do. To be honest, I was kind of surprised from the start.
I wasn't surprised. I mean, when you got all these financial flops, I mean, it's not surprising that they might as well try their chance with Xbox. It's not very surprising. Helldivers 2 probably would have dropped on Xbox if it wasn't for PC. That saved that game.
That Sony didn't have this game ready to go on Xbox day one, because I just thought to myself, this is a Lego game. And it is a licensed title. All the other Lego games that we've ever seen have also released on Xbox, as far as I'm aware. Or yeah, if not Xbox, you would think PS4. It's unlikely to me because this game is on Switch. So,
and what's even more funny, Sony didn't drop it on PS4, which they probably more likely should have. It should have been a PS4, PS5 game. But I think Sony's getting sick and tired of the PS4. See, what you guys don't understand, that Sony is in the PS3 situation. They're trying to get away from the success of the PS4, no different than how Sony tried to get away from the success with the PS2 during the PS3 generation. They need that system to die. Unfortunately, they need everybody to upgrade to the PS5, and people, unfortunately, are not doing it. They're not. This is why they're single-handedly making their games last generation, and they're just starting to do exclusives now for the PS5, because they need these dudes to upgrade, and unfortunately, they don't want to.
It's going to be, I would say, a pretty awkward situation. Not surprising, but just a little bit awkward. If Sony's like, yeah, we're going to put this game on Xbox before we even put it on PS4. It could be a situation where they're ready to put it on both. They could have a PS4 port ready. They
It'd
could
be
also
funny if they don't, because that right there shows you that Sony is sick and tired of the PS4, and that's what's single-handedly destroying them. Just like the PS2, when people didn't want to upgrade to the PS3, even when it had backwards compatibility. But like I said, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. The concept of exclusives is dead. Nobody cares no more. Just go back and play games, man. That's it, bro. That's all you could really do at this point. And if there's games that you don't like, then don't play them. Find something. There's always going to be something to play, even for me. Even when I'm bored with these consoles, I just go back and play my GameCube, and I'm back to being happy again. So there's always something for people to play, right? Regardless if it's a classic game or a new game. But you people, I told you, I tried to tell you, but y'all weren't. It's like I told you, it's like that Resident Evil 2 part with Leon Kennedy. I told you, but you wouldn't listen, you know? And then this dude sitting here like, Ado, give me the Lego Horizons. And Leon Kennedy, which happens to be him. I can't do that. But you're going to give it up anyway. PlayStation's dead.